Oh man, it's Patreon video time! As you can see, today I'm working on my incredibly quick speed drawing abilities. No, today we're doing something different than usual. Because today is vote day, where we gotta vote for what the next, for basically the next set of non-Mario games. And democracy is pretty cool, but ignorant democracy is completely useless. And I think it's important to know what we're voting about. So what we're gonna do is that I'm gonna be going through the different questions I got, which are a bit less than usual. And then afterwards, we're gonna be looking at, I think we should be actually looking at the actual trailers and video stuff footage of the things that are being proposed. But yeah, first let's answer things here. Then we'll start. Shinoda asked, "You should go back and listen to the first video of Pandora's Box. Someone asked if you'd like to do LPs for a living, to which you answered, if it pays the bills. Look at where you are now in relation to your accomplishment. Would avoid mustarding in it though. Thorough for some reason. Ew. Plus, you're not even under any kind of legal contract or anything. Question. You said in the past that you prefer LPers that put the focus more on the game than the personality. Yet here I am liking you for the personality more than the games. How does that make you feel? I mean, seriously, having a loyal fan base for 5 years doing mostly Mario ROM hacks day after day after day after day? Can't just be the games. I lost interest in Mario ROM hacks 4 years ago. I come for the cow, not the plumber. Second question, because reasons. Why do you avoid swearing in English but explicitly emphasize the French ones when you edit? Farts. I have struggled with the knowledge that I have to realize that, yeah, a lot of people like me for me, not necessarily for the games. I suppose, that's gonna happen, and I mean, that's gonna happen to me too. I watch a lot of the videos set up by Chip and Ironicus, for example, if I don't really have any interest in the games at first, but they tend to make things interesting as a duo. So maybe it's it's going to happen, yes, but it's more like the idea is still to put the emphasis or try to on the games anyways. Then you end up watching my videos for me. Well, I mean, I'll take it as a compliment for sure, but that's still, I'm still not gonna make videos strictly about me. The Patreon videos are kind of an exception, but you know what I mean. What? Kissing? What is this going on here? On the internet? That's impossible. But yeah, so yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, but just because it's gonna happen means that it will. What does that even say? Also, I don't mind having the French swears in my videos because most people don't know what they mean. So, it's okay, whatever. But basically, no, I bring culture over to people who would otherwise not have access to it. Pizza Ponies all, does French have an alphabet song? If so, sing it for us. Alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Well, actually, it's the same. Actually, yeah, it's the same tune as the English one. Actually, I just realized in the same order. A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y Z. It's the same tune. I don't know. Must have the same root somewhere. I never thought of that. 2. What kind of sub do you usually get at Subway? Either meatball or cold cut, no cheese on Italian bread. Which would you rather avoid more? Games with violence, more realistic than say Binding of Isaac, or sexual fan service, but not in a good way, that sometimes Kill la Kill handle that. Do you think your answer is influenced by where you live, where USA is okay with violence but not sex in most other parts of the world, or the other way around? Do you mean me personally or for Let's Plays? For Let's Plays, I would rather the game be more on the violence side and on the fan service side. For my own personal consumption, I tend to go the other way around. I'll tolerate unfortunate fan servicey stuff, like, say, for example, Panty Pony Dash. Is that how it's called? I forgot, it's been a while. Because there's not a weird, out-of-place fan service there, but the content I find amusing I'll tolerate it. Violence, I'm just not that interested in it, honestly. I'd rather laugh than see violence, personally, in my entertainment. Yes, there's probably a regional part to that, because in Quebec, yeah, sex on TV, it's like, what? It's like, who cares? So, yeah, because that makes sense. 4, not a question, but not now. Oh no, not a question, but you must now watch at least 1 minute or more of your old Perilous 3 Let's Play. Then there's a link. Man, alright. If I change... Okay, I'm gonna have to stop this. How do you... Is there a pause? I didn't expect this to happen. That was pause on my recording. That wasn't in the video. You know what, I'll just reopen it for once I'm done. Alright, so let's see here. Let's 1 minute, huh? This doesn't make me happy one bit. Oh, it was rehosted by Igor Horse. Let's go at least. Wow, that frame rate, beautiful. It's got 2 minutes. We have to last until minute 3. Man, that frame... Did we actually tolerate that back in the day? Or is that just kind of like the fact that this is like a rehosting of another video?
Yeah, then stage play.
Also, can you make out anything being said at all?
Flying around, shooting diverse things. Many shooters, who would have thought?
Yeah, like, honestly, like, okay, this is bad, but it's not mockably bad. It's just, this is impossible to follow. And also just all kinds of gross looking.
Bullet wall there, I guess, playing the Danpachi in my cat.
Well, I made a Danpachi reference, but that doesn't have to do that. Oh yeah, that's enough. We got a minute in, and this was completely worthless. I don't know why that existed. I'm sorry. You can blame the Pizza Pony for this, not me though. I'm completely blameless. You can see at what time of day I record these things. That guy If is all. I removed part of his thing because I'm trying to remove things that are not explicitly questions. That guy If. What's your take on the new Dragon Ball movies as well as the new series Super? Whoa, Jesus Christ! Do you think it's something worth going back to, or is Toei nostalgia tripping for its American audience? I don't know. I haven't seen Battle of the Gods, and I am not aware of anything there. I am perfectly content with my pre-existing Dragon Ball nostalgia, to be honest. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what is flying over the sky in the world. Maybe it's gonna be good. Like, maybe. Maybe not. Like, it entirely depends on the quality of the show. Like, if it's good, well, awesome. If it's not, well, too bad. Welcome to Consumption America. Also, he had another question, because, like, he erased that, and then he put in a different one instead, where he's all, did he catch the final of the Nintendo World Championship, except I didn't. So, the rule. So, I won't further on, go on there. Now, I didn't see it. I missed it. I watched most of the other E3 conference, but not that. I missed it. Sorry. Melon Pizza is all, wait, so you can't ask 2 questions a week unless you string it together in one post? What? Yeah, I think I was making fun of you a little bit, but, like, don't take it personally. It's not, you can ask more than one. Like, I won't be angry at you or anything if you ask more than one question. I was just joking when I said, like, don't be afraid to ask what you want. It's just, you know, if it becomes an exaggerated amount of quantity, it becomes an exaggerated amount of quantity. At that point, it's like, come on, dude, what are you trying to accomplish? But if you got 2 different questions that comes to you across, you know, during the week, that's okay. Sometimes I make fun of people, but it's never personal. Like, you earn this privilege of asking me stupid things sometimes, or legit questions that I try to answer at my best of capability, considering I don't do any research prior to reading these, because I kind of read them on the spot. So it does just... Okay? Okay. What is your favorite Simibit 3 boss? Also, my friend Joseph from England was wondering if you could say your intro in a British accent. I'm not trying to put with some friends, hear it aloud. No, yeah, your friend Joseph has to give me $1 before I can do that. And the funny thing is, if you had just said, you know, I was wondering if you could do your intro in British accent, and then later on in the week, in a different message, said, "Ha! This was actually a request from my friend Joseph." I would have done it, and I'm like, "Oh man!" But no, I gotta protect my assets here. Also, the Bowser fight. The Bowser fight in Mario 3 is like legitimately one of the highlights of the game. And it's rare that I'm gonna say that the end boss is a highlight of the game, but Mario 3 totally super pulls it off, super great style, Superman. So, yes. Bowser is literally Kyle. Whoa, what's going on with my voice? Be Kamikaze. I agree that Boo is the best villain, probably because I started watching slightly before the Boo arc. Instead of asking a question, here's the clip art of a sausage! Alright, let's get clip arts. Gotta do this. It doesn't fit the recording window, but I'm glad it happened. Zio Masuda is all. Didn't you punch a swan in the face? The answer is no. Have you played Bayonetta and or Bayonetta 2 yet? The answer is no. Do you have any advice for someone who's graduating high school at the time of posting this comment? My younger brother has just graduated. My answer is no. What was learning to drive like for you? When were you ever in any serious car accident at any point ever? My answer is no. Was there ever a moment in your younger day that you'd look back on and feel like a complete tool for? I have a lot of those. My answer is no. Okay, that was just stupid. About graduating high school, if you got the opportunity, don't be afraid to take a moment to just kind of like chill. Also, if you're considering higher studies, it's probably a good idea to take a year or two beforehand to work and get some cash flow going. In our society nowadays, people expect people to study a bit later on, and don't be afraid to take, because that extra intake of money is going to help out a lot. Just look for, you know, shitty, bad starter jobs that no one wants to do, but that's where you're at in life, and that's normal. It's gonna get better. But that's what I would suggest. Like, if I had a kid, I mean, if you want to go straight away to college right now, like, I wouldn't stop, but in my humble opinion, you should work a year or two before going to actual studies, I think. Moment of silence. Learning to drive was alright, except I had issues with actually passing the test, because the lady that was doing the test kept failing me, and because for really, really stupid reasons. I won't go into details unless people want actual more details. That was good. Good times. Yeah, I feel like a complete tool all the time. Like, I wouldn't be able to pinpoint a single example, I don't think. Not on the spot like that. I once, and for the accident part, car accident, I was in the school bus, and the school bus was heading to school, and a driving person, a motorist in a car, if you will, did not look both ways before heading off the ramp, and the bus smashed right in the car, because the bus had no in hell time to brake in time. It was a mess. No one got hurt, though, so that's fine. No, the accident that caused the trauma when I was small, I was just a witness. It was a bike accident. Nothing related to that. Sneaker bottles, all! That's it. No, I'm just moving some things around here. It's pretty great. Oh man, if you could see this in action, it's incredible. Moving things. A few voting related queries in regard to Issac. First off, would it be the original or rebirth? Rebirth, probably. Secondly, do you know how you would structure the series if Issac was chosen? No. That's kind of why I hope no one votes for Binding of Isaac. We'd be starting with the new save file and doing subsequent unlocks. It would be a series that would just have an X amount of episode, 1 run per day, before it ends. If it were the latter, would it be in 1 run of episodes, would it be every so often like Voxicron used to be? Honestly, I'm not sure yet if I'd vote for Isaac. I'd have to see the whole list of games next week, but I do love to watch a lot of Isaac runs. I think whether or not I would potentially vote for it may depend on how a series would be structured, especially since Isaac wouldn't necessarily have to be a definite start-end structure like most of the series. Okay, if there's enough of a request for Binding of Isaac, honestly what I think I would do with that is that some weeks where I don't feel like arting, I could do a Binding of Isaac run instead. Because the advantage with that game is I know it enough, I'm comfortable enough that I could just put my list of questions aside and basically handle that while playing Isaac. I think that would work. Or as, you know, the sequel to Voxitron, basically, as filler too, that could work. But yeah, like, Binding of Isaac is like the one game that I have, one of those games that I consider that I can just play to just kind of like, that doesn't feel like work, you know, it's like me time. So I kind of hope the vote isn't there for it, but if there is, we'll play it. I mean, it's, you get to choose. Yeah. Will Hart, do you prefer cookie dough or cookies? Cookies. Feel to be popped every so often, like when Let's Play moved from something awful to YouTube, when Minecraft LPs became super popular, when scare cams became a thing, or when PewDiePie spawned a lot of imitators. People say that Let's Plays is dead and that it's all downhill from there. Do you think LP will ever die? No. As long as it's possible to record on a computer screen, and I doubt that we will lose that technology unless VR absolutely takes over. People will, in some way or fashion, record themselves playing a thing. It's always gonna be there. It's kind of foolish to think it's just gonna disappear. Maybe Let's Play will not remain as a quote-unquote industry, even though that sounds really stupid to say, but it'll definitely exist in some fashion, at the very least as an amateur thing, you know? Crispy, I've noticed some of your videos make mention of the Dark Tower series. How did you like the stories, and what do you think of the idea of a movie adaptation? I love the universe of the Dark Tower series, but around novel 4-ish, kind of starts to not be written as good, and I kind of fell off the train, so I never read the conclusion. I'm not afraid to abandon something like that just isn't good after a while, you know? It's the book where it's entirely in Roland's past. That book is just so bad. I was reading that one in college, and it just made me just abandon the series, unfortunately. I don't know, I think a movie adaptation would be fairly difficult if you want to be, like, true to it and everything, but hey, I mean, you're free to try. I just don't think I think it'd be challenging to do. Then again, I thought that A Song of Ice and Fire would be challenging to do, and it's like a super popular series and I don't watch, so... Lovely Penguins, all this your top 5 of top 5! Really? Okay, top 5 fighting game character, top 5, top 5 trucks, top 5 ways to swallow a bear, and top 5 villains. There you go. Melon Pizza makes a second comment saying, sorry for the extra question, colon, backslash. I told you before, it's okay. It's okay. Do not be sorry for either being curious or having a silly thing that popped in your head later in the week. Please do not be sorry. In fact, now you are forced next week to at least send 4 different ones. Kitty Kami's all, I read in the past that some people had pretty bad experiences with Machinima and or had trouble getting out of the partnership, and it made me wonder if they were still stuck with them. If you, me, were still stuck with them. And just now remember that you are taking questions now, so did you ever get out of that? Did it end up causing problems for you? Other than Perry with Mercer made private. Well, sometimes it's just Bumblebee. Sorry, I realize you guys don't have these on screen. Other than a period when most of your videos are made private. Basically, I ignore everything that Machinima sends me forever and forever. And I get money from them once a month. That's it. I automatically opt out of anything. So they send me money from my AdSense, basically, and like I give them money that way because they only give me a part. Except the reason why I like to have them is that they give me an extra layer of protection against copyright strikes. If I was just a normal butt, I'd be more of a target, but because I have a corporation that hovers above me, they act as a shield and give me some access to be able to showcase some corporated stuff that other people might not necessarily be able to. It's not really something that came up, but it's something that could come up, and I'm kind of glad for that. So I'm, you know, we kind of parasite one another. That's fine. Red Rex Meridia is all. So I won't officially ask this as a question, except I saved this for some reason. So I wonder why. Because I'm sure I'm sure of your answer already. But I and a couple other people on YouTube have noticed you referencing wrestling terms on a few occasions. I mean, WWF, WWE wrestling. Recently you said Attitude Era in a video. Another time, K-Fab. I'm sure there was something else related to a specific known wrestler at some point. As you said many times, don't watch sport. I'm pretty sure it must be coincidental. Maybe you watched it when you were younger? Anyways, just something that's been on my mind. Well, first of all, wrestling doesn't count as sport. So when I said it doesn't count as sport, whether or not I watch wrestling... especially WWE wrestling, is completely unrelated. I mean, sure, yeah, there's a lot of physical exertion in wrestling, but it's the case also in dance and in ballet and all that. Like, wrestling is basically ballet for men. Yeah, back in the young days, like when I was in high school, I had a whole 2 friends. And one of them was way into wrestling, and I've just absorbed some stuff out of osmosis. I never had that much of an interest myself, but I didn't have an interest either. It was like something, a background thing. I was cool with that. And then, you know, he made wrestling moves on his cat on the bed. It was funny for everyone. Telemon's question. You've explained the origin of the Talk House, but can you explain the origin of the name Talk House? Once upon a time, we were naming the different bits of the site. Me and Telus4 and was like, I don't know how to call the forums. And I was like, it's called Talk House. And I was like, that's perfect. Yeah, honestly, it's just a thing that came to my mind spontaneously, and it works. Why is it half German? Who knows? Just what are you going to do on these videos when everyone inevitably runs out of questions? Well, I know I've got that let's draw a thing properly idea for 1 week, show how to make a video another, that's a whole half a month. Afterwards, I'm just gonna basically scroll through different corporate logos while loudly eating desserts for an hour. That's going to be super cool. Nico Fire, what is your favorite conspiracy theory? The fact that a lot of audio stuff, like CDs and DVDs and whatnot, the A note is at 440, I think it's megahertz or kilohertz, but it should be at 430 instead, because 430 is more attuned with the universe. It sounds like I'm making this up, but this conspiracy exists. Look it up. Zerix, did you have any TV shows you watched as a kid that are particularly special to you, and if so, why? The fondest TV show that I watched as a kid that I remember, I'll give you 2 of them. Rocko's Modern Life, which basically I think was the start of my appreciation of subversive humor. And, you know, random humor that is not monkey cheese. I think it nailed it perfectly. Mind you, I haven't watched that in years. And number 2, I will say Beast Wars, which I knew as Beasties, because 1, I thought the computer graphics were like so amazing good, but mostly because it's a show that I watched with my dad, so I have a lot of, you know, family time with my dad memories about that show. And it was a good show, especially for a show that existed to sell toys. I think they did a darn gosh good job considering what they were asked to do. It's Mama Bo, coffee or tea? How do you drink it? Neither. If I want to drink something hot, I'll drink hot chocolate. Marshmallows if some are around. Philo 555. Philos? Philos 555. As far as the question, what would be your advice for somebody wanting to start an LP channel, and in your honest opinion, do you think it would be easier now to get one established well enough to justify continuing these days where it's much more popular than back when it was a newer thing? Also, randomly, I'd suggest The Apprentice Adept book series by Piers Anthony as a sci-fi fantasy book series to check out if you haven't before, have never heard of it. Tongue emoticon. Isn't Piers Anthony one of those problematic authors? Anyways, like something about pedophilia or something? I don't know, just... I remember reading something about that name, but I don't remember precisely. Anyways, if you seriously want to start an LP channel, depends what you want to do. If you've got a very specific idea about a very specific underrated game or unknown game, go for it. But otherwise, good freaking luck getting any kind of view. LP channels are successful, but you'll realize it's only a handful of them that actually work, because the market is over mega saturated. If you want to do something that is successful, to start with, you almost absolutely have to attach yourself with a working Let's Play channel. For example, you might know about the current run of me and Horikawa, starting out together to redo Bagalex the First as a post-mortem. If I did not myself plug her channel actively, and if it wasn't deal with me, if it was just her, she'd be lucky to get, 10 views per video. And this is an unfortunate fact of the now. Let's Plays have been corporationized. They're now an industry, and that's just how it goes at this point. And it's kind of too bad. Like, you can have a super good original idea, and good luck if you can get noticed or not, but I hate answering questions about Let's Plays because I tend to be kind of on the pessimistic side of things. But that's the reality of it, and that sucks. Last questions before we move on to Trailer Town. Wow, this still lasted half an hour. That was more than I thought it'd be. I could have drawn something, and I guess I didn't feel like it. Mew. Nicofire! What's the difference between surrealism and lol random monkey cheese? Surrealism, for it to work, the entire universe is the same as the one you and I live in, except there is one aspect that is different. Surrealism is basically applying dream logic. In other words, an aspect will not make sense, but the universe around it will do its damnness to make sense without everything crumbling around it. Whereas lol random monkey cheese is just... Oh man, I got the kutcha bottle on my foot, so displaying says to the teddy bear, hello, my chair is on fire, can you please spare milkman? That's nonsense, it's stupid, it's dumb. It's funny, like, if you got one sentence of it, but expand that to half an hour, and it is the most brain-melting, boredom-inducing thing in the universe. Because your brain doesn't have anything to actually latch onto. And, it's bored. That's just how it is. And here we are. We got a zillion video games to go through here, and some of these are old games, so they won't have stuff. So I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but let's do that!